We're Gundagai Bee Farms, third generation beekeeper. It all started from Les, my pop, in about 1940. He started with one hive, and from that one hive there'd be around 9,000 hives now. A very big tradition in our family. Nearly all our family is in bees. We're here for the red mallee, and then also we'll go on to the coolabah, which is also in this same flying distance as for the bees. Every tree or flower, different time of the year, and that's when you get what we call a honey flow. And then we got to chase the honey flows throughout most of New South Wales, sometimes Victoria. Just in these cages, there's just one queen per cage, and we'll just requeen a few today that are a bit down. They're on the end of their life cycle. So the queen is the life of the whole system. She's the start of the cycle. If she's not any good or dies out, the whole hive will eventually die out. Sometimes they do requeen themselves. Majority of the time they won't. We try to come in and prevent them from dying and requeen them so we can do it commercially. One queen in each one of them 8 cages, and then we'll just use them to requeen a hive. One queen inside that cage. That queen has been bred in the hills around Tumut on a bit of blackberry. She'll go on to live easily another 12 months, being highly productive. And then we might come along and replace her with another queen in the next 12 months. So the smoke, we just use that to calm the bees. So it just changes the bees' idea of what they're planning to do. At the moment, if I was to crack that open, they'd be planning on protecting the hive. But with the smoke, it just changes their plan to thinking that there's a fire, and then they go into starting to think about relocating the hive. So I'm just going to go through this pallet, and we're going to check for a few old queens. Yeah, so I'm just checking this this box. It's only a box off the excluder. It's only been on 2 weeks, and just when you shake it, it means that it's been fresh honey within the last 2 days, fairly heavy, and they just quite haven't ripened it. But this is a lot fuller, lot stronger hive, more bees, more field power. So as you can see, that's starting to cap. That there's ripe honey. Anything that's capped they're happy with that. So one bee will only make 1 teaspoon in its lifetime, but it's taken the hive 3 weeks to make that, but they will only make about 80 kilos to 100 kilos average per year. So I'll just go into the bottom and I'll try and find the queen. Just inspect her, she should be fine. See how she looks. Her wings might be chewed off. That's a sign of an old queen. Also just inspecting the brood nest, how she's laying. So that's the baby bees in this capped formation. 21 days from the time it's laid, it will be hatched. So all that brown capping there is all capped bees. That'll hatch within the next 10 days. Bee lives for an average of 6 weeks. In the spring and summer, they don't live quite that long, but in the winter they will live longer. So all under this white capping here, you can see that the bees are working to cap more. That there just hasn't been ripened enough. So under these cappings is just honey, and you can just so that'll be all red mallee. produced within the last couple of weeks. So you can see all these bees here lined up around the edge of the honey that I scraped off. They're just sucking that up, and then they'll restore it back into the frame and clean it up. So I've just got the queen here. She's the master of this hive. She's the mother of all these worker bees. She's laid all the eggs, and she'll last up to 12 to 18 months commercially. Naturally, or in your backyard, they would last 24 to 36 months. And we're just today checking on her and inspecting her brood nest. So sometimes the queen will either go into another hive, or her own bees will try and kill her if they don't think she's doing a good enough job, and they will tear off the wings. You can clip their wings to stop them swarming, but she has just her full wingspan, and she looks very healthy and nice and bright orange. She's fine, she's only a couple months old. So we'll just put all that back together, and she'll live her life out, or we might even check her within the next couple of months. The pain threshold definitely has went up since I've started working bees. I would have got stung 3 times on them 3 hives. We've went through probably 288 hives today, the 4 of us. So they'll all come in now, and they'll go back about their business how they were beforehand. So this is red mallee. This is the bud we're chasing. So that there is budded, that's still capped, and that there is the flowers, that's out in flower now. The rest of these will come out in flower later on. To the end of January they will keep flowering until. Red mallee is native. It grows all throughout Western New South Wales. It yields heavily. They fill a lot of boxes. They could produce up to 45 kilos per hive off this one flowering. So this cut comb sections, we put them on just before Christmas. It's the 6th of January. It took 45,000 bees to produce that in 3 weeks. Bees have drawn that from nothing up until capping stage, and that there is the most natural chance of honey you'd be able to buy. So this honey we've produced around Temora region in the months of October, September, November even, and then we've extracted it at our central plant in Gundagai. This would have to be the second most raw product you'd be able to get honey in, and this here hasn't been blended. This will never go candy. Being yellow box, pure, and at its naturalist form. I couldn't think of a better job, getting paid to travel, working with family, friends, very local team, and I just love being a beekeeper.